Hello everyone. This time we will talk about translating English phrase into algebraic expression. So that's our objective, translate verbal phrases into mathematical expressions. So here are the keywords for you to easily identify on what would be the operation on the given phrase. So it's addition if you see the word plus or even the sum of, added to, more than, increased by, greater than, exceeds, blank by, and then total of. Okay na, you have to be careful because good thing for addition, addition is commutative. So when you translate all of this, it will give you x plus 2. And if your answer is 2 plus x, that would still be fine because again, addition is commutative. In other words, for example, you have 3 plus 2. If you have 3 plus 2, even if you put the 2 first, so 2 plus 3, that will still be 5. So it's okay. But every time you see the word more than, this is what you need to be careful because this would be the common mistake of students. The word more than and the word greater than. Every time that there's a word than, it means that you have to rewrite it backwards. So you say 2 more than x, in other words, that's 2, then going to the left plus more than x. So that would be the correct translation. So here, 2 greater than x is, you write 2, greater than is plus. So you put the plus here on the left instead on the right. Then x here. So x plus 2. So be careful of that. So unlike addition, if you interchange the two terms, that would still be okay. Because again, they are commutative. But for subtraction, interchanging the terms would not be okay. Because the result would be different. So you have to be careful in translating. So for example, you have 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. But 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And they are not the same. So you cannot just interchange the two terms. So here, the keywords for subtraction is minus, difference, decreased by, reduced by, take away, less, subtracted from, less than, and fewer than. But you have to be careful every time you encounter the statement subtracted from, less than, and fewer than. So as I said in the previous slide, every time you deal with the word than, that means that you start from the right going to the left. Instead in the usual pacing that we write, from left going to the right. So that's 2. So meaning 2 less than x. If it's 2 fewer than x, so 2 fewer than x. So same here with 2 subtracted from x. So it's not 2 minus x, but 2 subtracted from x. So x minus 2. So if your answer is, for example, because the first number stated is 2, subtracted from, because you just hear the word subtract, you immediately write minus x. So this would be wrong. So again, interchanging the two terms would not be the same. As we have the correct order. For multiplication, keywords are times, then product of, and then multiplied by, and then we have twice. So of course, when we say twice x, that's 2x. If it's thrice, still that's multiplication, then 3x. By the way, remember all the time that when you have one term, you might be asking whether the coefficient should come first or the variable. So always remember the first one would always be the coefficient, and then what's next is the literal coefficient or the variable. Okay? So coefficient first, then variable afterwards. So you cannot answer x2. Okay, this would be wrong. So it has to be 2x, no matter what. Even if you were told x multiplied by multiplied by 2, the correct translation is 2x. Because multiplication is just commutative. So remember that. Next, for division, divided by the quotient, the ratio of. So every time you see here the word ratio, this is in connection with our lesson in the first quarter. Ratio is also division and also fraction. So instead of using a division symbol like this, so we will prefer writing it as a fraction already. Let's try. Translate the verbal phrases into algebraic expressions. The sum of x and y. Okay, the answer is x plus y. So the keyword here is sum. So here, then x comes first, then y afterwards. B, twice m. So that's 2m. Oh wait, this is not a 2x. That's 2m. So twice, thrice, that's multiplication. But there's no need for you to put a dot in between the coefficient and the variable, because it's understandable that once there's no operation between a coefficient and a variable, that's automatically multiplication. Okay, next. 9 less than z. So again, there's a word than. Less is meaning subtraction. So that's 9 minus here. You put the minus instead going to the right. Then z here. So z minus 9. So the answer 9 minus z is wrong because they will not have the same value. Okay, let's have D. 6 less than 8 times a number. So when we don't know a number, we use a variable. So the common variable that we use when we don't know a number, because it can be any number that we know, so we use a variable x. So the correct translation is 6 less than, so meaning instead of going to the right, you go to the left. So minus here, then 8 times a number. So 8 times x. So 8x. So the correct answer is 8x minus 6. Okay, let's have E. 6 more than A. So take note, there's a word more, so plus, but there's a than. So start here by writing 6 more than, instead of putting it on the right, you put it on the left. More than A. So the correct answer is A plus 6. So this answer would still be valid because again, we're just dealing with addition, so it's okay because addition is commutative. So it would be fine if the operation is just a plus, but if it's a minus, interchanging the two is not correct. The difference of B and 10. So the keyword here is difference, so minus. So B minus 10. Next, the difference of twice a number and 3. So difference minus twice a number. So twice a number, so probably we can use an x with it. So 2x. and 3. So the correct answer is 2x minus 3. Okay, let's try to discuss common misconceptions about translation. So when we have the expression twice x, so as I said a while ago, you cannot write it as x2. So always remember the variable is written after the coefficient. So I would like to correct this word. This must be coefficient. Because we're talking about a term with a variable. So the 2 is a coefficient, not a constant. So again, we only say it's a constant if it doesn't have a variable at all. So next, x more than y. So common misconception, they might be thinking that more than is a greater than. But we only use this symbol if there is a word before there's a word before more than, which is. So the correct translation is y plus x, because more here indicates addition. And don't forget the word than, so that means y comes first, y comes first, then plus x. Same with z less than 3. So they're thinking of as of inequality symbol less than. But we only use this symbol if the statement is z is less than 3. So there's a word is. But if there's none, we are referring to subtraction. And take note, less than. So you put the z on the right and then 3 on the left. So 3 minus z. Okay, now, how about the statement or the phrase 8 times the difference of x and 5? So it's incorrect to say that it's 8x minus 5 just because you encounter the word 8 times here. So take note, it's 8 times the difference. So when two operations are next to each other, no number between them, so you have to start with the second one. Difference of x. So that means that you start by writing um, the difference of x minus 5. So that is x minus 5 in here. And then, since the times and difference are different operations, so you enclose what you've started in a parenthesis, the difference of x minus 5, and then you put 8 outside. So 8 times the difference of x and 5. So no need to write a dot as an indicator for multiplication. It's understandable that once you have an 8 outside the parenthesis, that's multiplication.